Opinion versus fact. What's an opinion and what's a fact? Here are some points for you to think about. Start with opinion. Opinion is a conveyance of an understanding which a person has gathered and stood by, and it is of a very individual and personal nature. That is to say, it's only of that individual, based upon their own considerations of rights and wrongs, of their life experience, of their astrology, of their race and culture, and a myriad of other biases inherent to that individual, society and culture they grew up in. Therefore, an opinion invariably leads to a fixed type of judgment by the person of all those around and the world. For the person weighs what he or she has learned from the world around with respect to that solidified opinion. Number 2. If I were you, I would regard every opinion out there that I come across, be it in media, news, work, or personal life, but always keeping in mind that the value of that opinion, in addition to informing me of the side of the argument they come from, also informs me of the silent inherent biases of the individual. And if similar opinions come from similar people of that race, culture, or country, it additionally informs me of an inherent bias in that human collective also. Number 3. If I were you, I would take every opinion out there pushed by marketing, social media platforms, news, views, printed and online media, etc., with a jar of salt. That is, only observe, evaluate, let it be. Knowing that it's just an opinion, it doesn't matter how many individuals are buying into it or how masses tend to follow it. For the collective fear or collective agreements, I have found, is strongest instrument of discouraging the individual creativity, passion, and drive from day to day. Number 4, if I were you, I would keep my opinions as a sort of a jelly-like state rather than solid or liquid. For I have found that the more I solidify my opinions of a person or any idea as my own personal opinion, I do not give enough room for myself, for that individual to change, grow, and become more generative and more creative individual, which is inherently untrue. For every person and even ideas can change. If I make it liquid, I am swayed and carried away by every other person's opinion and idea out there, and I tend to be lost in the crowd, so to speak, and lose my own individual perception point, which is hardly where I want to get to. I would want to get into a place within me where I can find my personal balance with the human collective. Now let's talk about fact. Facts are self-evident results based in actions which are observable, verifiable, and manifest in physical reality. Facts are made manifest by earth and human actions on earth. Humans can have individual opinions, but they cannot have individual facts, for fact is a common truth seen by all, and opinion is mere individual judgment of the fact. Fact is by evidence in reality, not by words, vocabulary, and suppositions. For example, sunrise every morning happens irrespective of what your opinion of that is. Number 2. If I were you, I would weigh more on the side of fact than I would about anyone's opinion. Doesn't matter how charismatic a leader or role model may be, or fancy sounding words. It is still one's individual opinion. My own opinion I would regard equally, if not more powerful than the most powerful leader who has ever spoken, simply because my opinion is my standpoint of thought, in quite the same way someone else's was, famous or not. Number 3. If I were you, I would weigh what people say as their beliefs, truths, emotions, thoughts, etc., against what they are doing, what actions they are taking, what their human failings are. For they not only inspire me as an equally capable human being, but also show me what they really believe in. Which opinion is walking the talk in that person? Which is the strongest walking the talk opinion? Number 4. If I were you, I would observe the differences in my own self with regard to what I claim as my opinion with what I do as actions in my own personal life also. but never judging myself as right or wrong in the process, since we are all living in times where humanity is living too many contradictions of all kinds in every walk of life. And my own confusion and disparity of my own opinion and my own facts may simply be a reflective of collective untruths we are all part of, rather than my own undoing of any kind. Number 5. If I were you, I would focus myself on taking only those kinds of actions for myself based on filtering only those kinds of opinions which have better possibility and stretch of creating a more well-rounded reality for me in terms of health, wealth, and environment sustainability. For myself, Earth, and other human beings, I would take this path based in science and evidence rather than only opinions out there.